Okay, hello everyone. Lara from Complete Test Success here, and in this live stream I'm going to do a complete essay correction. So last Sunday I posted a Task 2 question. A number of students responded with full Task 2 essays, and I'm going to choose one of those students, give them a full essay correction and show them their vocab and grammar mistakes, talk about the structure and the content, and then show them what scores they can expect for task achievement, coherence and cohesion, vocab and grammar, and also explain what they need to focus on so as to improve their scores as quickly as possible. So that's what we're doing here today. If you're not already familiar with me and my lessons, I want to share a complete Task 2 guide with you. So what we're doing in this live stream is analyzing one student's work, and you get more insight into the types of mistakes that you need to avoid and the particular things that the examiner is looking for. However, if you need lessons on how to respond to Task 2 questions, you will find those in the links here. Okay. Hi, Mohammed from Somaliland. Good to have you here. Welcome to the lesson. Okay, so with that, let's find our winner. And if you entered the draw, you will see your name here. And let's just see who the winner is for this week. Okay, well done, Amila. So we'll be focusing on Amila's answer. However, if you have questions for me, please feel free to ask your questions in the comments. I will be able to answer whatever questions you have. You might have questions about the feedback I'm giving Amila, or perhaps she did something and you don't understand why it's wrong. Feel free to reach out. I'll be able to answer your questions. Ikra, hello from Bangladesh. I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. Hope you're doing well too. Okay. Hey, Rupinder. Right, so I just need one moment to find Amila's answer and then we'll get started. Okay, so I have it here and let me just share the essay with you and we'll go through it piece by piece. First off, I just checked, it's 311 words long, a little bit long, but not so long as that it's a concern. So we normally aim for about 280, 311. It's not excessively long, but you don't want to go much longer than that. That's as long as you'd really want to write. Otherwise, you're going to waste too much of your time on the writing part of the process. You won't have enough time left for proofreading, which is really, really important. Okay, so this was the question. Hey, Chetan, hello to you. Asim, nice to see you too, sir. Welcome to the lesson. Okay, so let's get started. So this was the question. Some people believe that social media encourages antisocial behavior, such as bullying and cheating, while others disagree that this is the case. Okay, so what I want from Amila is this paraphrased at the beginning of the question. Certain individuals argue that social media encourages antisocial behavior such as bullying and fraudulence. No, cheating and fraudulence aren't the same thing. Due to the widespread influence they exert upon people, while others believe that there are more reputable advantages gained through these platforms, which are very informative. So the issue here is you're adding extra information. Due to the widespread influence, it doesn't say that. It just says that they disagree. So don't add in extra information like that. Just paraphrase what the question says. More reputable advantages. So when you're saying more reputable, it's like more reputable than what? So we've talked about the problems. So when you say they're more reputable, you're referring back to the things that we've already discussed here, but those aren't advantages. So that doesn't make sense to say more reputable because the thing you're referring to isn't an advantage. Okay, next, I want one idea for the first view. So I want in the outline statement, so what we're about to look at next, I want one main idea to support the first view. I want one main idea to support the second view. I want to know what Amila's opinion is, and I want to know what main idea Amila is using to support that opinion. Okay. However, I believe that the pros of social media far outweigh the cons. Okay, so we know your opinion. In this essay, I will elucidate both perspectives and elaborate on why social media is so important in every aspect of our lives. No. So the way this is written, there are no main ideas here. So we have the opinion, but no main idea to support the opinion. So the main idea is missing, although the opinion is there. And then I want a main idea for each view. The way this outline statement is written, it looks like Amila is only going to discuss the benefits, why social media is so important, but the question asks us to discuss both views. So it sounds as if Amila is not going to discuss the first view, even though that is what the question requires. And then the main idea being social media is so important, that's too vague. You would have to say, why is it important? So there might be a reason why it's important, and the reason why it's important is the main idea you should use. So just to say it is important doesn't communicate a main idea. It just alludes to it. Okay, so mainly the paraphrase is using vocabulary that doesn't have the same meaning and includes extra information. The outline statement includes no relevant ideas and seems as though it is not responding to what the question has asked. Okay, one more thing. Make sure that you put a line between each paragraph. It's much clearer where each paragraph starts and ends when there's a line like that. Okay, so let me just jump back in. Let's see, does anybody have any questions about any of that so far? Hey, Arzu. Maha, hi sir, this week I think we have different live sessions unlike usual. Yes, so I've changed it up. So what I'm going to do is a QA on Tuesdays and then an essay correction on Thursdays, and I'm going to cycle through. So this week I'm doing task 2. Next week I'm going to do academic task 1, and I'll show you the question for next week after I correct Amila's essay. Yeah, so new schedule, a different format. Hey Hassan, I'm doing very well, thank you. Hello Facebook user, what's up? Just IELTS, always IELTS. Hey Farzana, Delight Enna, hello to you. Hello Leo. When is the next Q&A? The next Q&A will be on Tuesday again, so the same time next week. The way it works with the software that I use, I can only schedule 1 week in advance. So I need to wait until after the week after I'm finished the live streams for this week before I schedule next week's. So I'll be scheduling those every Friday. But for now, I can confirm that the same time next week, same day and time as this week will be the Q&A next week. Etat, hello dear teacher. Etat, before I listen to the lesson, I would like to say, be strong and stay safe for all people under attack. Yeah, I don't want to get into political things. I think everybody has an opinion. I prefer not to weigh in on any politics because I have one goal here, and my goal is to. I'm not saying you shouldn't have said that, Etat. You're welcome to say what you want, and of course, I hope that everyone is safe, that things go as smoothly as possible. But my one objective here is to help students get their IELTS scores. So I personally, I don't want to mix that with whatever other possible opinions I might have. I want to keep my focus very much on IELTS. Ahad, hello to you. So Van David, hello to you. I'm doing good, thank you. Welcome to the lesson. Lots of Bangladeshi students here. Okay, so far with Amila's answer, I am concerned that it is not going to respond to both views. That is my main concern so far. Hi, Tsepiso. Welcome to the lesson. Good to see you too. Always good to see you here. All right, let's jump back into this. And we're looking at the first body paragraph. Now, normally I would expect a response to the first view and a reason why people think this. Whether or not you agree with that view, you've been asked to discuss the view. So to say, some people think this because, and you support their view, you develop their view. So that's what I would like, but I have a feeling that's not what we're going to get here because of what Amila has stated in the introduction. Okay. It is irrefutable that the television, radio, and internet propagate various news and programs which can have major implications in shaping the way we think or behave. Movies especially, which are addictive in a way, can negatively affect the actions of growing teenagers and children, especially when they portray criminals as heroes or when a felon gets away easily with his activities despite the continuous conning and bullying of others. For example, in the movie The Tinder Swindler and The Puppet Master, women are persistently bullied and cheated, and the villain often gets away with his actions until the very last moment, which is usually several years until justice has been done. I mean, it's well written, but your ideas aren't very well organized. It looks like you didn't plan this essay, to be honest. I think you're using a good range of vocab, but there isn't really a precision in meaning. It's too wordy. You could say this much more easily. Like, it is irrefutable that the television, radio, and internet propagate various news and programs which have a major implications on the way we think and behave. This is too wordy. Even though you're using vocab and it sounds kind of like a high-level vocab, we would never make a sentence so complicated with unnecessary vocab. So it's basically, it is irrefutable that television, radio, and internet have various broadcasts which influence the way people think and behave. So you need to keep it more simple. It will be more coherent. And then what are we looking to talk about? So we're talking about social media, not the media in general. So we're not talking about movies. We're not talking about television. We're not talking about radio. We're not talking about the internet in general. we're actually talking about social media. So basically that whole paragraph is irrelevant. But not only that, we're not just discussing social media, we're discussing people who think it encourages antisocial behavior. So the paragraph has to be, here is why some people think it encourages antisocial behavior. And then the next paragraph, here is why some people disagree with that. But this is completely irrelevant. This is just talking about the media. It's got nothing to do with what the question is asked. So far, that is not helping your task achievement score in any way. Okay. Okay, so before we look at the next paragraph, let me just share a link with you here. I have, if you want to purchase an essay correction like this one for yourself, I provide feedback for task 1 and task 2. And I also have a writing course. If you want more one-on-one support, especially if you need a band 7 or higher, it's quite difficult to get that score by yourself. So if you need more one-on-one support, I have my IELTS writing course. I also have essay corrections. You'll find those there with that link. So far, basically what we've seen with Emila's essay so far is no real response to the actual question, which means they're kind of writing vaguely about the topic, but not really. So far, task achievement score is heading for a band 4. Now that might improve later on, but might not. So we'll see what happens. But there's no way that this is going to be a high task achievement score. So it might recover from a 4 to a 5, but it's not going to get any better than that. It's too far off topic. Okay. So next paragraph. Nevertheless, in the current era of globalization, we cannot ignore the fundamental values of social media in educating people and communicating. Okay. The current era of globalization, we cannot ignore the fundamental values. Okay, so now we're talking about social media. That's good. But remember, we're not just talking about the benefits of social media. We're talking about why people disagree with this opinion. So we have one group of people saying social media encourages antisocial behavior. We have one group of people saying social media does not encourage antisocial behavior. And the response has to be saying why some people have the first view, why some people have the second view, and then your own opinion on that argument. So that's what we need. So, I mean, this is better. At least it's talking about social media, but it's not talking specifically about what the question has asked us to talk about. Okay. For example, society does not need to perform tedious tasks such as traveling or posting letters anymore due to the benefit of the internet. Okay, we're not talking about the internet. So you don't need to say why. You don't need to talk about the benefits of the internet. That's not relevant. On the other hand, working at home and homeschooling also became possible. Is also possible. Again, not relevant. Secondly, advertising becomes far more convenient and the public can perform online shopping easily, which saves both time and money. Okay, again, so not about why social media does or does not encourage antisocial behavior. So what we're seeing so far with Amelia is basically, first of all, not analyzing the question carefully enough. So it's not enough to just write. You can't just write some stuff and then you'll get the score you need. There is a specific question. You have to answer that question. Now, if I boil that down to a very basic, and I mean, to help you understand, it's obviously not as severe as this, but like if I said to you, what's your name? And you said, oh, I'm 30 years old. Like, okay, I mean, I asked about you and you gave me information about you. So you're kind of talking about the topic that I asked you about. But I asked your name and you gave me your age. So yeah, you haven't answered the question. And essentially that is what we're seeing with Emila's answer. Kind of roughly talking about the topic, but not actually answering the question. And that is essentially what task achievement. Your task achievement score is, did you answer the question? How well did you answer the question? So that score is obviously going to be quite low. All right, so let's have a look at the last paragraph, the conclusion. Okay, in conclusion, although social media can mend people in a negative way, mend doesn't make sense in this context. To mend means to fix. According to the nature of the content it displays, we cannot ignore their potential in developing human minds towards a more progressive and empowering direction, as well as their important roles in our lives today. Okay, so first of all, task achievement is a band 4. So that's the first thing. Coherence and cohesion is a band 6, because the introduction says what you're going to say and then you don't really talk about what you said you're going to say. The conclusions should summarize the ideas from the essay, but this conclusion has different ideas. It doesn't reflect what the essay was about. And then throughout the essay, it's not very coherently leading from one sentence to the next. Like there's one, like let's say, for example, let's look at the second body paragraph. Let me just share it here. If we look at the second body paragraph, so am I wrong? One moment now. Okay. Here, this sentence is about social media. So it's okay, we're going to talk about social media. And then it jumps to talk about the advantages of the internet. So we're no longer talking about social media. So that jumping back and forth between different topics is not a strong approach for your coherence and cohesion. It's supposed to be, I'm going to talk about social media, and then you talk more about the point that you said you were going to talk about. So that jumping between topics. Okay, so that's, I mean, a pretty clear indication that Emila has quite a lot of work to do in the exam technique side, the exam skills side of writing the essay. So need to analyze that question more carefully. Need to plan the ideas in advance. So write a plan, analyze those ideas, only discuss what the question asked you to discuss. Your vocab is also a band 6, and I know you're going to be shocked by that because you're using such a great range of vocabulary, but you're not really communicating. There are lots of big words that aren't really saying anything. So the range of vocab is good, but you have to use the vocabulary for the purpose of communicating your idea, not for the purpose of showing what vocabulary you know. And it seems like your approach here, Emila, is to just take all the big words, shove them into a sentence, make the sentence look very like each sentence has a great range. But that approach doesn't communicate your ideas very well. And that's the reason. So you definitely have the range, but you're just not using it in the way that it would naturally be used. So focus more on what is your idea and how can you communicate that idea clearly, rather than what is the idea and what very uncommon words can you use to make it sound, make a simple idea sound complicated. Then for grammar, I mean, the good news, Emila, is that, I mean, your language ability is, you do have a good language ability. I mean, it's clear that you do have, you know, the vocab and the grammar to get a high score. Your approach with vocab isn't working, but that's easy to fix. So it's mainly the exam skills that you're lacking. So you're not writing the essay, you're not responding to the question appropriately. You're not writing the essay in the way IELTS wants you to write your essay, with, you know, what each paragraph contains, the purpose of each sentence. So all that stuff you need to improve. Grammar, very few grammar mistakes. You're doing a great job with grammar, to be honest. So at the moment you're going to get a band 7 for grammar, and like your vocab score will improve very quickly as well. So what we're looking at is a band 4 for task achievement, a band 6 for coherence and cohesion, 6 for vocab, 7 for grammar. That brings us to a band 5.5, which is, I'm imagining, quite disappointing for you, Emila. But like I said, the good news is that you do have the language ability to improve that score rather quickly, as long as you can, focus on the problems that I've outlined, make sure that you don't repeat those mistakes again. You can improve your scores relatively quickly. Okay, so that's the basics of Emila's essay. Band 5.5, mainly because not responding to the question and not knowing how to write an essay in the way that IELTS requires. Hi, Ali. Good to see you here. Yeah, you're very welcome. Okay, so that's essentially it. Let me show you the question for next week, and let me show you let's choose the winner for the speaking test lucky draw from Sunday as well. Okay, so question for next week. As I said, we're looking at task 1. I'm just trying to get it lined up here so that we can see it easily. Okay, here we have it. So last week we had a task 1 live stream about the call center, and it was just Nigeria. So it's exactly what you see on the top half, the 2 bar charts about 2010, 2015 for Nigeria. However, this one, it's the same. What we see for Nigeria is the same, but we have that extra 2 bar charts for India. So that'll be the task for next week. Obviously, if you're doing general training, that's not appropriate for you. And I will also post this question on Sunday, as I always do, in my YouTube channel community and my Facebook page. So I'll post that question again. And that same idea next week. I'll choose a winner for that and do a full essay correction for the winner. All right. And like I said, I want to choose the winner for the lucky draw. So just give me a moment to get that lucky draw software ready. I just need to enter the names of the students. Okay. So let me pull that up. Okay, so you should be able to see that now, and the list of names there. So if you did enter, you should see your name there. If you want to enter next week, I'll have another post on Sunday, and you just add your name underneath the post. Okay, so let's find a winner here. Well done, Chaplin. And I will be in touch with you and we'll arrange a time for that. Okay, and finally, I just want to remind you of my free live feedback lessons. So those are my group lessons on Zoom. And I have those each week on various topics related to the IELTS test. If you want to join those, you'll find them with this link. That is the same place you will find my essay corrections, practice IELTS speaking tests, writing course, and speaking course. So if you need more hands-on support, make sure to click that link and get involved. Hey, Jervin. Hi, Jashan. Hi, Mozam. Hello to you. Jacqueline. Is that Jacqueline? Maybe you know Jacqueline. Perhaps that's Jacqueline's nickname. I'm not sure. Good to see you here anyway, Mozam. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this live stream. Does anybody have any questions or anything they'd like to ask before we finish up here? Hey, Solwyn. No, seems like that's it. Hey, Harsh. Tripty, the link does not take us to any Zoom class. Correct. You need to sign up for the lessons with that link. You will find those lessons there. And Ali, congratulations to the winner. Lovely sentiment. Thanks, Ali. Okay, so that's it. Let's wrap it up there. Take care of yourselves, everyone, and see you next time. Bye-bye.